Lew-Porter High School, Adelphia Niagara presents our continuing coverage of youth sports. Today's game features girls high school volleyball action between Lew-Porter and LaSalle High Schools. Steve Vonsick along with Lou Panessa and Lou. Both these teams feel good about their chances tonight. We're going to start with LaSalle. Jan Lucy has her squad in at 1-4. Record-wise, not where they want to be, but she feels that this is a winnable match.
Yeah, you take a look at the two teams. LaSalle comes in at 1-4, Lew-Port at 2-3, and both of them have to feel that they're competitive in this match. I mean, for the Niagara Frontier League programs, there's not a wide disparity in a lot of the teams. And if you take a look at the two teams, neither of them have a great deal of height. So both of them are going to have to rely on skill, athleticism, and hard work on who's going to make the less mistakes is going to come out with the win today.
A couple key players for LaSalle. Meredith Schneider, she is a co-captain and really a complete player for LaSalle. And they also have got a big player at the net, Katie Edjukanis.
Yeah, Katie Edjukanis. Both of them are two of the three seniors in LaSalle's starting lineup. Both of them co-captains, looking to provide leadership. A lot of communication has to be in volleyball. You don't want the two people looking at each other when the ball drops in the middle, those types of things. It's up to the captains and the senior leaders to make sure that the communication is good again, because the team that makes the least amount of mistakes today is going to be the successful one.
As we're dodging volleyballs all over the gym here, I think they've got a ball with your name on it. But now let's look at Cindy Bullis with Lew-Port. She coached the girls team for 10 years, jumped over to the boys program for 2. This is her first year back with the girls, and she's got some good players as well.
Yeah, same thing. She's got a couple of seniors that we're going to be talking about here. Casey Martinez, a captain, along with Sandra Lister. Now, both of them are outside hitters and setters, and that's also very key. When you get into, the volleyball at this level, the setters make or break the strikers. I mean, those people are going up, they're looking for kill shots, looking to try and put the ball away. If they can't get a good set, they just can't do that. So the two setters are key today. They need help from the back to dig it out, but the setters going to make it happen. They're going to be any kill shots today.
Okay, well, we are excited about today's matchup, and we will be back to start things off right after this.
Same as always, you watch my back while I run the wire.
And welcome back to the Lew-Port gym. We are moments away from the start of this girls high school volleyball game between Lew-Porter and LaSalle. Steve Vonsick along with Lou Panessa. And Lou, we mentioned in the open, record-wise, the Lancers in at 2-3, the Lady Explorers 1-4, so kind of an evenly matched game. Both teams think they've got a shot today.
Yeah, when you look on either side of the net, there's not one player that stands out that you think is going to actually dominate this game. None of the teams should feel imposed about who's lining up on the other side.
There's the LaSalle Explorer starters, Karen Argy, Kim Mellon, Carrie Lasher, Meredith Scheider. There's that co-captain senior, Katie Edjukanis, very strong at the net, and Renee Kogenauer. And we remember Renee from our coverage of girls softball as well. Lew-Porter starters, Sandra Lister, Carrie Ann Bronson, Robin Simonson, Casey Martin, the setter, Janine Furich, and Lisa Hess. As they go through the pregame festivities here in girls volleyball, Lou, it's quite a ritual that they do go through.
Yeah, then the referees will check all the numbers. You're looking at the cell bench there.
Jan Losey, she mentioned in the open to me before the game, 1-4, but it's been a very enjoyable season. She's got 3 or 4 gals new to her program, and an enjoyable year of coaching for her. Now, their starting setter, Jean Coffey's been out ill from school the last couple days, so she is not here as the officials check the numbers. And I believe we're ready to get things underway. As LaSalle serves. Almost to the ceiling, and there's a carry.
Just reaching back a little too far. Didn't get underneath it, her whole body underneath it. When she reached back like that, carried it over top of the net, side out to Lew-Port.
And there's a point.
Yeah, ball. Casey Martinez just put the serve in a good spot. Nobody from LaSalle could dig it out.
Casey Martinez, the captain of that team. And that ball is long.
I was confused for just a second there, but Marcus Kubiak, our official up top, right on top of that, I was looking at the wrong line. I was looking at the white line, but it's actually the dark line that marks the in and out back there, and a substitution already for LaSalle as Carrie Lasher comes in to handle the service.
Lasher gets it over, and that's a point as unable to be handled back there. Score stands at 1-1. Carrie Lasher, the senior. That's a net ball.
They just got a kind of a poor toss there, so when she went to follow through and hit the ball, went down too low. There's Kubiak up top and Tom Inman on the floor.
And a good dig there. And a nice play.
Well, LaSalle's back line has to be a little more aggressive here. I don't know if they're expecting the front line to reach up, but those were two shots that have fallen that were definitely back line balls. And, nobody made a strong effort to go to. Serve hits the net. Side out back to LaSalle.
That's Katie Edgikanis, the senior. Big player and very strong at the net for the Lady Explorers.
Oh, see, that was well done there by Fjork in setting up Carrie Ann Bronson. It was a beautiful set, and the sophomore came through and drilled it.
Carrie Ann Bronson, one of the stronger players at the net for Cindy Bullis's Lady Lancers. She spoke quite highly of Carrie Ann to me before the game. 2-1 Lancers.
There's that communication factor again.
Meredith Schreider, the senior, with a well-placed ball.
That's what I talked about mistakes in the opening, Steve. There really has been only one good kill shot so far, and the rest of them have been side outs or points on mistakes.
That ball is long. Or check that. It must have been
called on a touch back here.
Okay.
They called that Scheider got a piece of it. Another side out.
Side out for LaSalle. And number 12, Renee Kogenauer, senior server. And a big shot.
Well, there's a good tag team going on there. Another beautiful set. And Carrie Ann Bronson has drilled a couple already.
Bronson getting high off the floor in. Strong shot.
That one wasn't even up close to the net. It was a good step and a half back from the net. She still was able to get enough altitude and drill it over. Setting it up for her again. Well, that time they were setting it up for Lister, and it went a little too long.
Good teamwork, like you mentioned, though, between Martinez, Bronson, and Lister. Karen Argy with the serve.
That's well placed. Yeah, that's right in the back corner there.
I'll tell you what, that was strategically placed by Karen Argy. She caught the corner. 2-2.
Oh, she foot faulted there. Hit the ball with her foot on the line.
Just a mental mistake. Turns the ball over.
Lew-Port's going to send a designated server into the game too, Lisa Hess.
As the ball rolls towards our table, unable to be handled by Kogenauer. 3-2 now Lancers. Take a look at the junior Lisa Hess.
That was put in a tough spot. Mellon got it up a little too close to the net for her outside hitter to do anything with. And this, for the first time in the game, the team has put back-to-back points together. Lew-Port had gotten 2 in a row there, Steve, before the long serve for the side out.
So back to LaSalle. This is Kim Mellon. There's a net ball.
That was a well-placed serve. Another serve back in that corner. That's how LaSalle's gotten 2 out of its 3 points.
4-3 now, Lancers. And that serve is unable to be handled, so we're deadlocked at 4.
Yeah, maybe things starting to settle down a little bit. The teams starting to get their serves in a little better now and are able to put some points together.
Here's Mellon. And we got some trouble here. Good recovery by the Lancers.
Bronson again.
Bronson's been a standout already in this one. And that ball is turned over.
Only sophomore in the starting lineup for either school, and Carrie Ann Bronson has distinguished herself here in the early going.
We have a play at the net right here.
Oh, good work there. Set up nicely for Robin Simonson. LaSalle's defense got up, got a block on it, but couldn't bring it back over the net.
5-4 Lancers. Simonson and Bronson, their best net players. And a nice little dink there.
Actually, I'm going to correct that, Steve. I know better than that. That's Simonson. Robin Simonson.
Okay. Casey Martinez actually. 6-4 now Lancers.
Timeout taken by LaSalle. As again, just a serve right down the middle, and seemed to be a little confusion on the LaSalle side as it dropped up in front of the back line.
Well, volleyball is such a game of discipline and communication, Lou, between your teammates. There's a lot of strategy, yes, but also just taking care of your own spot on the floor. You don't want to run down your teammates and be able to communicate and make a play.
Yeah, part of that comes with playing together. You know, if when you build a program, the coaches would love to have, but probably really don't have that luxury too much. As girls that come in and play with each other for a couple of years at the JV and right through the varsity, start to know each other's tendencies, and you see a lot less of that standing around looking at each other. Oops, sorry, I thought you had that one.
Here you see Cindy Bullis. Her squad in at 2-3 on the year. Back with the ladies program after coaching the boys the last 2 years. And we are back in action. And there's a play at the net.
It's a touch of the net by the
Violation.
Lew-Port player,
That was
Janine Furek.
Janine Furek, the tall senior. Got a little bit of the net. Now the officials conferring.
Substitute coming into the game
Okay.
for LaSalle. It's our designated server again, Carrie Lasher.
Last year, the senior server. That's going to be trouble. And that's in there.
Got the job done, got over top of that serve just enough to put some spin on it, bring it down.
7-5 now. There's last year's serve. And stuffed at the net. Well, Furich went up, but she met her match at the net.
And Meredith Scheider won
Meredith
that
Scheider.
battle.
7-6. Lancer. And that's going to be trouble. We are tied up 7-7.
Well, second time in this ball game that Lasher has come in to serve and has done the job back there for LaSalle. All starts with getting it in. He does it.
That
and
one
it's a
sailed
side out.
wide. So a side out for Lewiston Porter. Both these teams very young, Lou, not a lot of experience. Even the senior Meredith Scheider is only in her second year of organized play, so both these teams are quite young. There's a net tip, and right in Lou Panessa's lap.
Ah, I didn't handle it. Hands are gone.
That's an error to the color commentator. Here's Lewiston Porter's Sandra Lister. There's a play at the net. Big tomahawk chop by Meredith Scheider.
Yeah, Scheider got the top of the net cord on that, and it kind of deflected it up in the air and threw the timing off on Lew-Port.
Katie Giaconis with the serve. 8-7 now Lancers. And there's the net ball. It's tied at 8.
Timeout taken by Lewiston Porter and Steve. Neither team able to really take control of this one in game one. The largest lead, 3 points. Lew-Port led 7-4. LaSalle came back to tie it at 7, and now we're tied at 8.
You mentioned Carrie Lasher came in a couple different times to designated serve and put the right English on the ball or the right location. Got some points for her team.
Yeah, there's never been more than 3 points scored in a row by either side. Lew-Port did it in grabbing that 7-4 lead, and LaSalle came back, and that's how they tied it. Next televised game, girls high school soccer, and it's the same school, LaSalle Explorers, taking on the Niagara Falls Power Cats. One of the few remaining times that these two teams will play girls high school soccer against each other. It's Tuesday, October 6th, right here on Adelphia.
We're tied at 8. Katie Giaconis with the serve. And a net ball there, just a little bit too far out on that play for Karen Argy.
Scheider just mistimed it.
So Lewiston Porter gets the serve. I believe it's Noelle Hertz. Noelle into the game. And Noelle with the point. 9-8 now Lancers, so a couple subs coming off the bench for their team. They'll bring up some points, and 2 in a row for Hertz.
Well, LaSalle just seems really susceptible to that serve right in the middle of the floor.
Now, is that a lack of communication, Lou, and just not knowing if the front line or the back line player is going to make a play?
Some of them may be in their alignment and covering responsibilities on the floor. That's a beautiful.
This is trouble. 3 points in a row now for Hertz, as last year unable to track that ball down for the Lady Explorers. 11-8 now Lancers. Oh, nice little dink or dunk right there, whatever you call it. But I'll tell you what, that was number 6, Meredith Scheider, the senior captain.
Yeah, Scheider was up there with her fist a lot. She's not going to be called for a carry on that. She's just trying to bump it over to a particular spot on the floor, not necessarily kill it.
And she's a big enough girl that she's not going to be challenged at the net very often. It's 11-10 now. Lewiston Porter. Here's a good look at Meredith. And that's trouble.
I start with a good hard serve. That was one of the better serves velocity-wise we've seen from either team.
Scheider's serve is there.
Just a little long.
Just a little long.
It was important for LaSalle to get those 2 points back, though, and stem the tide of Lew-Port. You don't want a team starting to run away from you when you get into the double digits. Good decision there. It was close, but long.
Close but long on the end line. Kind of hard to hold back sometimes, but a good decision, as you mentioned. 11-10 now. Lewiston Porter, LaSalle serving. Renee Kogenauer.
good volley going right here.
Yeah, one of the longer back and forths of the night. Started with an excellent return of service.
And I believe we've got a carry.
That's a violation against LaSalle.
Turn it over to Lew-Porter. Number 6 is Bronson with the serve. And net ball, unable to get the elevation she needed. That was Karen Argy.
Yeah, the set was just a little too low for her to try that kind of a shot.
Timeout, LaSalle. Kind of nip and tuck right now, Lou. Neither team really able to make a run and string more than 3 points together.
Yeah, play is getting a little better, though. They both started out a little nervous-like, I think. Team's really not executing as well as they probably would want to, and they've settled down now. We've had some longer volleys and a lot scrappier play. I mean, starting to see some nice saves, going for some shots.
A little earlier in this one, we saw several balls hit the middle of the floor, and that's kind of a lack of communication, I guess you would say. But both teams are very young, and let's face it, in any sport, you've got to get the cohesiveness, play a few years together. I mean, Jan Losey told me she's got 3 or 4 girls on the team just new to her program. So when you start them off in 8th, 9th, 10th grade, and once they become upperclassmen, and then you've got a team put together.
Yeah, as you said, though, you've got a couple of seniors on the floor who have only played 1 or 2 years. Hard to do.
12-10.
Peregrine there with a well-placed shot.
I thought that was almost a carry, but she got away with it. And backing off.
Yeah, there was a communication problem.
But the point is registered as the ball was in play. 14-10 now.
Yeah, she heard no, and it turned out to be oh yes. Got to get this one over. Ball game.
That's it. So the Lancers take the first one by a score of 15-10.
Yeah, they closed it off with 4 straight points off the service, and again, you know, part of that was a little miscommunication on LaSalle's side, but you know, it was well-placed serves, and the timeout failed to help. I mean, Lew-Porter kept it together, and over the last part of the game, they seem to have settled down the most, scoring outscoring LaSalle 7-2 over the end of the game to come away with the 15-10 game 1.
Some strong work by Carrie Ann Bronson in that first set. Casey Martinez as well. And I mentioned a little bit earlier that Cindy Bullis for Lew-Porter. Now, she had the girls for 10 years, went over to the boys for 2, and she's back with the girls for 1. And I asked her, well, what are some of the strategic differences? And it's just on the boys level, you can rely on the power game a little bit more. This game's played below the net for the most part, so she's just readjusting her coaching strategy to the girls, but enjoying being back with the ladies program. There you see the score after 1, and we'll take a break and be back with more right after this. Casey Martinez will start things off in game number 2. Her Lew-Porter squad won the first one 15-10. There's a play at the net.
So unable
And a
to get
point
it
for the Lancers.
over the net. Hit the net cord.
Just glancing off the net cord, she'll turn it over to LaSalle's Lady Explorers. Any surprises in that first game, Lou?
Yeah, well, there were only 2 kills that I counted. Carrie Ann Bronson with the 2 kills, and they went early on. So it's just, you know, as we talked about in the open, which team could make the fewest mistakes? It turned out to be Lew-Port in game 1, and they've jumped out to an early advantage here in game 2.
Courtney Jackson in off the bench with a nice play. So both teams have had subs come off the bench and contribute. And there's a nice play right there at the net.
Well, that's not a kill, but it might as well be.
By Katie Edgicon, probably the biggest athlete on the floor today and the strongest net player for LaSalle.
I mean, a kill in the sense of the word that she didn't pout or
I guess
down to the floor, but she put it down in an open spot on the floor.
if you can get it to the floor, I guess it all counts, right?
Yeah.
2-0 now, Lancers. Excuse me, 3-0 now. Lister with the serve. And that one a little too long for Courtney Jackson. Turn it over to LaSalle. Nice volley right there, and turns into a point.
Starting to get a sense that Lew-Port has a much stronger net game up front than LaSalle. LaSalle's players just are a little bit shorter up there, and it's a lot harder for them to get up and really challenge Lew-Port. Lew-Port doesn't have a great deal of size, but they have more than LaSalle, and they are a little bit stronger at the net.
A little bit bigger and a little bit stronger with Bronson and some of the others. There's a net ball. And both these teams haven't ruled out the sectionals. Well, you know, you get later into the year and start playing against teams in your own class.
All done by Robin Simonson.
Score stands at 3-0.
Simonson with the good shot that brought the side out, now gets the serve.
Robin's a junior, so she'll be back next year.
That two-handed one after another, and that's a violation.
That's long.
It was a good decision by Francie Carrigan, though. She, saw that the set and their timing wasn't right to try and kill the ball, so and then she tried to make a shot just over the net. Unfortunately for her, though, she still left it too hard.
Kogenauer serve. There's a big shot. In trouble at the net.
Yeah, he described the big shot, and that was again, by Robin Simonson. Then she had to show some finesse and come up with a two-hander to keep the point alive. But it got over top of that ball. It's very important to get that spin that drives the ball downward and prevents it from going long.
Just like that. Carrie Ann Bronson with a nice serve. Right on cue. It's 5-0 now, Lancers. And Carrie Ann is just a sophomore. So she's got a bright career ahead of her. One of the standout players so far in this one. That's going to be long.
Lew-Port not really dominating the action, but yet they're up 6-0, getting a point at a time. A side out, get another point, side out. The problem is LaSalle can't get anything going off of their serve. And Lew-Port's just dinking away here.
Got a good volley going right here. Good recovery by Lew-Port, but into the net. Well, they were in trouble for a minute. I thought they'd bail themselves out, but Lister places the ball into the net. They'll turn it over 6-0 Lancers.
A lot of very nice saves in that. Both teams working hard, not giving up on the ball.
That serve is long, so turn it over.
That's 5 times already in this second game. LaSalle has had an opportunity to score a point and has come away empty.
Francie Carrigan with the serve. She's a junior. In trouble. Turn it over to the Lady Explorers. 6-0 in game number 2. Lew-Port took the first one 15-10.
If you're Lew-Port, you're happy. You're in front 6-0. If you're LaSalle, you got to feel reasonably good, too, is the fact that you could have been killed in this game already, yet they're still in it. Still have an opportunity.
There's that designated server back in the game, Carrie Lasher, the senior. She registered some points for her squad in the first one. And a nice play at the net using the fist. The captain, Meredith Scheider.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be a little lucky, too, and Scheider got just enough of that one and just enough of the net cord to put it in a spot where nobody from Lew-Port could recover for the first point of the game for the Explorers. Side out.
Turn it over to the Lancers. Excuse me, the Lew-Port Porter Lancers. And that's out.
Scheider got a lot on that ball and hit it nice and low, but just a little wide.
7-1 now, Lew-Port Porter. Make it 8-1 as that ball unable to be handled by Renee Kogenauer.
Yeah, that one kind of tied her up, a little bit higher on her than she expected.
Pulling away now, Lou, at 8-1 in game number 2. You mentioned just kind of nickel and diming, make a play here, make a play there. There's a strong play at the net.
I see that a little advantage there is
Katie Edgiconis.
Yeah, she's got a nice little height advantage on Sandra Lister there and took advantage of it.
And not a big kill, you mentioned. Just get it over the net and score the point.
Yeah, but Lister can't get up and challenge her.
Right.
Which allows Edgiconis to place that ball somewhere on the floor. But LaSalle fails to take advantage of the opportunity again and slide out back to Lew-Port.
Kim Mellon's serve is too long. Here's Sandra Lister on and return a favor. So we're stuck at 8-1 in game number 2.
Look at the difference in philosophy. Look where LaSalle, Lew-Port, that was a good idea. Hit a short serve.
Definitely. You talk about a big running start.
They've got all 6 people back deep on the serve looking for a dig. Drop it in front of them.
It's interesting talking with Cindy Bullis, the coach for Lew-Port Porter, before the game. I mentioned she had the boys squad for a couple years, now back with the girls. She's trying to put in a lot of different things. And obviously that's one of them. Kind of a twist. There's a net ball. Different kind of strategy, though, Lou. I've never really seen that formation before.
Well, they're breaking as soon as the ball is hit into their position. When I say drop it in front of them, it's easier said than done. Obviously, if you're going to get over the net, the serve is going to go somewhat deep. But you want to get it at the player's feet. As they're moving, it's much harder for them to dig it out.
It's 8-3 now. That ball almost hit the ceiling.
Yeah, 8-4.
8-4 now with that point.
Yeah, LaSalle's run off 3 straight points, and that will cause a timeout from Lew-Port. Again, they were in control of the game at 8-1, but I think their coach should be the first to tell you, Cindy Bullis, that they weren't playing as well as you would expect to have an 8-1 lead. And now as LaSalle starts to get it back together, they're back in the game.
They are back in it at 8-4, and had a chance to speak with Jan Losey, the coach of LaSalle, before the game. 1-4. I asked her what her season's like, and she said it's been a very enjoyable teaching experience. Both these squads don't have a whole bevy of experience or leadership from a standpoint of upperclassmen. And that's the key to high school sports, Lou. You got to get your kids in your program 3-4 years, and then you get competitive.
Getting a lot of players in and out, too. Making it an enjoyable experience for both sides. Well, the timeout worked. It interrupts LaSalle's momentum. The first shot out of the timeout, the side out for Lew-Port.
So Lew-Port Porter on the turnover.
Hertz replaced Morgan Johnson, senior in for a junior, here to serve.
And Noel came in the first game to register some points for her team, back-to-back points on her service. And that's trouble right there. So once again, right on cue, Noel Hertz off the bench for the Lancers, stemming the run of LaSalle. That's right off our monitor. And our cameraman, Jim Lichtenthal, has a play on it. 10-4 now. Noel Hertz off the bench with a spark. A lot of English on that serve, Lou.
Yeah, drilled that one in a good spot. That's a nice ace.
11-4. Good service by Hertz. And we know who's got the hot hand right now.
You can see a little exasperation and hear it from Jan Losi on the bench.
Well, she felt good right before the last time out, Lou. They had a little run cooking, but now 12-4.
Disappointed there because she could spot it from the bench, and she's talking to her players to talk to each other. There was no way that ball was going to make it over the net. Somebody's got to make a play on it. But they weren't talking, and I don't want to say not paying attention, but nobody made the aggressive move to say, hey, that's not going to make it. Let's put it over.
Different vantage point from the sideline than when you're on the court, obviously.
Yeah, LaSalle's got to get this turned around. They're trailing 12-4 here in Game 2 after losing Game 1 15-10. Go back to when it was 7-7 in Game 1. And Lew-Port, of course, outscoring LaSalle by 8-3 over the next span, and now 12-4 here. So it's like a 20-7 run here. Lew-Port has really seized control of the match.
And Hertz is piling up the points for her team with some good serves, but only the one blistering serve. She's really allowing LaSalle to play the ball, and they're kind of digging a hole right here, Lou. Big play at the net.
A good recovery there from LaSalle. Able to dig out on what was a pretty good shot by Simonson. And now they'll get it on a side out.
Yeah, Simonson had a big shot, and it was Karen Argy kept the ball in play for her team. 13-4 now in game number 2. There's the senior captain, Meredith Scheider, only in her second year of high school volleyball. And turn it over.
Again, that's just the backside slow and coming up.
So things starting to unravel for LaSalle. Here's Simonson. Good volley here. Play at the net.
Shot wide from Bronson will be a side out. Some good decisions in there. And again, some of the better play of the evening from both sides in that volley. Shots wide. LaSalle gets the point. But did you hear it out there, Steve? I know we can hear through our headphones on the third shot. People from Lew-Port yelling 3. You know, letting their teammates know that one's got to go over. It's that kind of communication. I mean, yeah, everybody should know it's the third, but you say it anyway just to avoid any problem.
13-5 now. Lew-Port serve. And we've got a net ball. They'll turn it over. LaSalle really going to have to dig in right here, down 13-5. Lew-Port leads it 1-0. And there's an ace. Once again, that formation, Lou, where you're backing the troops off and just find the front court.
And that's what I mean about putting the serve at their feet. It's real hard for them to move and grab something at their feet. Of course, it's real hard to put that serve there a lot, too.
Karen Argy's second serve finds the net, so turn it over. We stand at 13-6. And Francie Carriglin with the serve. Big lanky junior.
That's just a tough shot. Now it's a game point.
Let's see if Carriglin can put it away for her squad. And a big play at the net.
Courtney Jackson was up first, and that's where the size difference meant a lot. Jackson has quite a bit of size over Mellon. Mellon could not get up to challenge, and Jackson put it away.
And Jackson able to avoid the net. You saw her pull her hands back, and The game winner right there at 15-6 now. They've got a commanding 2-0 lead. Well, if you're Jan Losey, what do you tell the troops right here? You're behind the 8 ball now, Lou.
Well, I think she's got to tell them to be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, still a little bit of uncertainty back there on who's taking the ball, who's going to go after it. Needs her players to take charge and just go after it and let it all hang out in game 3.
Okay, we'll be back with game 3 right after this. Boys and girls, we've got some girls volleyball action. I understand you've got a girls field hockey game coming up, so a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit more schools, more players, more games, and now more sports than ever before. That field hockey one, you have to do some studying to figure out that game. But first, a little bit easier, a little more comfort when you talk about football. The Medina Mustangs taking on Star Point. Again, new schools. Probably haven't seen those schools in our coverage area before. Star Point part of the area now, and we're showing their games as well.
Saturday, October 10th at 6, and Tuesday, October 13th at 8 o'clock. And we are ready for game number 3. The LaSalle Lady Explorers trail it 2-0. They're going to have to dig in if they want to turn this one around. The strong net play of Lew-Port Porter, the key so far in this one. Substitution in. Actually, that was Kim Mellon with the serve. And that's a point.
Now, LaSalle wants to get out to a good, fast start in this game. They really haven't led all evening.
She got close in game 1 and locked it up at 7, but since then, it's been all Lew-Port Porter. Mellon's serve is going to be trouble. 2-0 now. Good, strong start for Jan Losey's squad.
Yeah, they started the first game down 6-0 and then 8-1, so obviously game 3 getting off on a much better foot than either of the first two.
Mellon, the junior, with the serve. There's a play at the net. And a good block right there. Let's see what the call will be.
Well, it's going to be a side out, but that was good work up front by LaSalle. And,
Katie Edjukanis.
Edjukanis with help with Scheider. They just didn't get the good roll of the spin. The ball spun on the top of the court, came down their way.
Martinez with the serve. And that's trouble.
Yeah, Mellon did all she could to keep that one alive, but unfortunately sent it a little too far backwards for her back line to help out.
What do we got? Some fancy, I think they're, now they look like tattoos, but I believe that they're temporary.
Yes.
I would hope so, because all the girls have them. Just making a statement with their number and a little logo on each arm.
Added part of the uniform.
Good artwork. And here comes your designated server one more time, Lou. Carrie Lasher.
Now it's going to be a carry and a point for LaSalle.
So Lasher's been a spark whenever she's come off Jan Losey's bench. And we've got a 2-1 advantage for the Lady Explorers.
Still going to get a little more size up front. Sherry Watts, the senior, comes out in favor of the sophomore, Jessica Wilkinson. So they got a taller front line out there, but unfortunately...
Got to get the ball over the net first. Turn it over. 3-1 now, Lady Explorers.
Yeah, Wilkinson comes in and gets involved right away. Gets her hands on the ball. 2 out of...
Didn't take her long at all.
Right away.
Edjukanis into the net. Turn it over. Score stands at 3-1 in game number 3. Lew-Port Porter leads at 2-0.
Hertz and Kerrigan in for Lew-Port, and Hertz to serve.
Hertz has been hot, and boy, every time she gets off that bench, Lou, she seems to get a point or two for her squad.
Well, she gets it over the net, and she gets it over the net with something on it.
She does. You can really see the English, the backspin on some of her serves. She had one big ace earlier in this one.
And that was well placed as well along the line. Nobody could touch it for LaSalle.
And that ball climbs over the net. And a big shot by Robin Simonson.
Yeah, that was well set up. She got a nice running head start on that one.
4-3 now, so the Lancers come back.
No, she made a carry there. Handled the power one okay, and the dink caught him.
But still, Lewiston Porter get a couple points. Now you're back in the lead, 4-3. Kind of frustrating for LaSalle. You built a little 3-1 cushion, but backdoors, Lewiston Porter, and another big shot. Robin Simonson is warming up right now.
Well, she's got 2 in a row, timed just perfectly.
Well, Cindy Bullis, the coach for the Lancers, said she's probably my best player at the net. Really going to work right now. There's trouble.
Yeah, but you see LaSalle working a lot harder. Now there's not people standing around watching those balls. Somebody's going to go for it and make a play on it. So they came out here ready to play for game 3.
That ball just goes over the net.
Give and go, but she touched the net.
Unfortunate, because that was a great little exchange there. Good communication.
Mellon and Argy, but Argy on the follow through got the net cord.
Dink, gonna be trouble. Nice shot by Francie Kerriglin, taking a little something off, using the fist, and it finds the floor.
Yeah, but see, I like this from LaSalle. People diving for the ball and risking collisions, whatever it takes. You want to see communication where they wouldn't bang into each other, but at least you're seeing the effort now.
That's it.
Now, it's a little long there. Communication, you can hear those LaSalle players helping each other out. Let it go, and turned out to be the right decision. They get it on the side out.
6-3 Lewiston Porter.
See, now they're going to have that.
Sherry Watts.
Yeah, Watts goes right back in for Wilkinson. Wilkinson goes in when it's up front for the height, and then Watts comes back in to serve.
Spirited volley going on right here. And that's it.
Oh, reaching back, Carrie Ann Bronson reached back and got enough of it to drive it deep into the court, spot that was vacated by LaSalle.
Carrie Ann Bronson, a standout player this afternoon. 6-3 Lewiston Porter. Make it 7-3 now. Carrie Ann Bronson with the serve. Big sophomore. Bright future for her here at Lewiston Porter. And that's trouble. Watts going to be unable to control that ball. 8-3 now. Lewiston Porter, Lou, starting to pull away a little bit here in game 3. 8-3 now. You've got to be concerned if you're LaSalle and make it 9-3. You mentioned a lot of hustle in this game for LaSalle in this third set, but...
Yeah, but all of a sudden now Lew-Port's starting to make some great shots.
Yes.
I mean, they're putting the ball where, you know, just in spots where LaSalle can't deal with it. And one team starting to pick up their game to another level, but the side out gives LaSalle another chance.
Bronson's serve goes wide. Here's Argy.
Lew-Port anticipating where that shot is going very well.
Set up Educanis right here at the net. She can get it over. And that's long. I thought they had Educanis at the net, Lou, for a kill, but just a little too close. You get the player too close to the net, and it's hard to recover in time to get a kill.
That point from LaSalle interrupts a string of 8 in a row for Lew-Port, but that's as far as LaSalle will go on that service.
Karen Argy's serve goes long. Score stands at 9-4. Lewiston Porter, and here's Carriglin. Yeah, that's long.
It's funny to say, you look at this in 9-4, but I feel both teams are playing their best here in Game 3. LaSalle's much more aggressive. They're communicating a lot better, but all of a sudden, Lew-Port is hitting much better shots.
They just made a couple tough shots, and that's how they built this lead. Here's Mellon. And we've got a violation there. Edgicanis unable to handle the ball. 9-4, Lewiston Porter service, and there's an ace. Watts with a diving attempt. Unable to control the ball.
Well, Steve, LaSalle starting to run out of time here. 10-4 in Game 3, down 2 games to none, and they're going to bring in Lasher again to serve, and hope she can run off some points here.
Well, she's done it before. Carry serve. And tell you what, some of these designated servers, Lou, they come right off the bench with the hot hand. And they've got a little English on the ball. Some of the girls' serves are almost like knuckleballs, and you can tell that they're going to be easily played upon. But some of these girls have quite a bit of spin and velocity on their serves. That one finds a net.
And that's the second time that's happened. The Lasher got the first point, and then the second one has gone into the net, unable to really string it together.
Here's Sandra Lister. There's your score, 10-5.
Now Wilkinson back in for size up near the net for LaSalle. And she delivers.
Off the bench, contributing immediately, Jessica Wilkinson. She's just a sophomore. And Katie Edgicanis, the big senior with the serve, not going to get there. Is it sometimes, Lou, just rushing and you don't have the patience? Set yourself.
Yeah, she's not throwing the ball up, and she's only taking a jab at it rather than a good full swing. And that's really just a lack of confidence.
So turn it over to Lewiston Porter. And this is trouble heading our way. (11-5) now, Lancers. And I'll tell you what, got a good look at Noelle Hertz, and she has delivered all afternoon for her squad with some nice serves.
Sandra Masick in for LaSalle, back deep to help try and dig out some of these Hertz serves. Hertz is putting a hurting on LaSalle.
Whoa.
That's a great dig. Right off the bench. What a beautiful dig.
Oh, a nicely placed shot by Meredith Schreider. Hit them where they ain't, Lou. There was a space in that floor, and Meredith found it.
Didn't get a whole lot on the shots, but
not at all.
It was great
well,
spot.
there again, we mentioned maybe a lack of concentration. Just collect yourself. I mean, you've got a little time to make your serve, and you just kind of rushed it, and no chance at all. 11-5, Lewiston Porter. That ball almost up into the rafters.
Gotta play it anyway.
Oh, this is trouble. Lasher unable to get anything on the ball. Caught her teammate by surprise,
But good hustle. I mean, if you're going to take anything out of this, and they're in real trouble now, down 12-5 and 2 games to none. It's the fact that they can look at how they played here in Game 3 and realize that's how they have to play. Oh, stuffed at the net. Carrie Ann Bronson put up the big D there in front of Wilkinson.
Bronson says not today. 13-5, Lewiston Porter in control. And there's a net violation.
Yeah, it came from outside the court and did not get in front of that red and white post that sticks up to signify that's where it has to cross and come back into the court. Did not do so, and going to give LaSalle another opportunity. There's the other designated server.
Sherry Watts, the senior. up off the LaSalle bench. See if she can have the hot hand here.
She's been rotating with Wilkinson. Wilkinson comes up and plays the 3 spots at the front. When it goes back in time to serve, it's been Watts' turn.
13-6 now. Oh.
May have gotten away with a carry there.
I thought maybe good recovery by Watt. And there's a net ball.
Yeah, Bronson misfired on that one, and LaSalle's put together a couple of points in a row for just the second time in this game.
Oh. Carrigan with a nice shot.
That to me has been part of the difference in this game. We saw a wonderful set and a Lew-Port player get a full head of steam and drive it home. It's not that they've done it all that often, but they had the ability to pull it off. Or LaSalle just has been unable to get that going today at all.
And that's wide. So turn it over. Yeah, the stronger net play by Lew-Port. You know, not a ton of kill opportunities, but a definite advantage today. Oh, she stepped on the line. Once again, a little lack of concentration by Karen Argy. Those are those unforced turnovers, Lou, that you just hate to see in any sport. Drive your coaches crazy. And we're at 13-7.
Again, that one failed to come across at the proper angle.
So turn it over to LaSalle. (13-7). Lew-Port leads it 2-0. They try to close out the Lady Explorers. Mellon serve.
One player always backing up another for Lew-Port.
And a net violation as Mellon unable to get the ball over the net.
Yeah, 2 consecutive hits by the same player. No, 2 aside, 4 straight opportunities of service, and no point. LaSalle got a break there. No, they went under the net. Okay, I thought they got a break there. The Lew-Port players are going to be called for. Went the other way. LaSalle went under the net. Lew-Port gets the point.
14-7, so 1 point away.
Match point here.
And net violation as Courtney Jackson was set up for the kill, but unable to get the elevation she needed to send that ball over the net. So 14-7.
They hold off 1 match point, but they've got a ways to go.
Christina Bazzelli in off the bench. She's a junior, and she promptly turns the ball over. Here's Sandra Lister. Match point, looking to close things out for Lew-Port. Carrie Lasher comes back into the game for LaSalle as well. And that's long. So another turnover, Luke.
Yeah, they dodged match point twice in a row. Masick will go back to serve. He gets to run off some points here from LaSalle. Football it again. She turned her foot back. She's going to look down and say it wasn't a football. But when she struck the ball, her foot was turned a little bit off of perpendicular, and
so Masick turns it over. In the 3rd try in a row at match point for Lew-Port. Noelle Hurt, she's been a hot server all afternoon. That time she hits the net.
This is getting back to how we were in game one with it going back and forth and neither team really being able to score. The difference being here, Lew-Port only needs 1 point to close out the match. Can't do that.
There's Meredith Scheider.
No, this isn't gonna...
Well, I heard a whistle. I thought it was inadvertent. I don't know what the call was. Register a point for LaSalle. Schreider again with the serve. And that comes our way.
Give her the lucky ball, Steve. Oh. 14-9. See, now if you're a baseball pitcher, you want that same ball.
Same ball back, sure.
Ooh,
and a driving serve by Meredith Schreider. 14-9 now. 14-10, excuse me.
And Lew-Port will take a timeout.
So Meredith Schreider providing a little bit of a spark. 14-10, LaSalle trying to scramble back in. And we mentioned a few opportunities so far for Lew-Port to put this thing away with match point. But give LaSalle credit.
Yeah, they refused to go away so far. They need at least 4 more points. Obviously, they have to win the game, so 6 more would be preferred. But I mean, there's only so many times where you can go to the well with that match point and expect to come away. Got to win by 2.
Mentioned LaSalle playing today without Jen Coffey, a starting setter. He's out ill. Schreider's serve
Too long.
is a turnover.
Well-placed timeout. Snaps the momentum.
We've seen a couple of those today. Simonson with the serve, and that's going to do it. Robin Simonson with the big serve, unable to be corralled by the LaSalle Lady Explorers, so they close it out at 15-10. Well, Lou, there's your line score, 15-10, 15-6, a little domination in the middle set, then 15-10 again. Took them a few tries to put it away, but overall, a strong performance by Lew-Port.
Yeah, Lew-Port made the fewer number of mistakes, the fewer number of communication errors, and they had the stronger play up at the net. That was evident throughout. LaSalle had some moments where they were just a little lack of confidence, and Lew-Port was able to take advantage of those situations, and they won it 3 straight.
Yeah, some great serves by Noelle Hertz and strong play at the net by Carrie Ann Bronson, Martinez, the captain. A good overall team effort. And you can see this one again Thursday, October 1st at 8 o'clock. And Lou, any final thoughts?
Congratulations, Lew-Port. They improved to 500 now in the season with this win over LaSalle, and good luck to the Explorers the rest of the way.
Okay, for Lou Panessa, I'm Steve Vonsick, and for our entire Adelphia Cable cast and crew, until next time, so long, everybody.